Hey friends, welcome to Everyday English, your easy listening English learning podcast that you can enjoy with your cup of coffee. My question for you today is, what are you doing this weekend? Another very common question in everyday conversation is asking someone about their weekend plans. We can ask anyone this question, friends, co-workers, clients, even acquaintances, whether it's part of small talk or getting to know someone a bit better. Asking someone their weekend plans is a fail-safe question you can always fall back on. There are a few ways we can frame this question. We can ask, what are your plans for the weekend? What are you doing this weekend? Any plans this weekend? What's on for the weekend? Getting up to much this weekend? So let me know, what are your plans for the weekend? This coming weekend is a pretty typical weekend for me. I'll have some downtime, catch up with a friend or two, but I don't like to pack too much into my weekends. I'm usually pretty busy during the week. I can work some pretty big days which leave me feeling drained, and so I'm just too tired to go out a whole bunch. On Saturday, I'll catch up with a friend for a hike. We'll either stay local or drive a bit further out. We both enjoy hiking and being out in nature, so this is something we like to do together. I'm really looking forward to it. We've both been pretty busy lately, so it'll be really good to catch up. She's a more serious hiker, whereas I'm not as familiar with the hiking scene, so going on hikes with her is good because she introduces me to some amazing trails. Along these tracks, there's often lookouts with just gorgeous views of the city. After our hike, we'll probably grab a bite to eat. Depending on what time it is when we finish, we might have lunch or just grab a coffee. I'm not quite sure. We've made some loose plans to go on a hike, but we haven't nutted out the details, like which trail or what time of day. That should keep me busy for most of the day. Usually when I'm out one day of the weekend, I like to keep the other day pretty quiet. A quiet weekend means not having or making too many plans. Do you like a busy weekend or a quiet weekend? What do you do on a busy weekend? What do you like to do on a quiet one? My Sundays should hopefully be quiet. I like to start the day slowly, have a little sleep in, although a sleep in for me would be around 7, which I know is pretty early for most people, but I typically wake up quite early for work, so 7 feels quite a luxurious sleep in for me. One of my favourite ways to spend a weekend morning is sipping my cup of coffee while reading my book. While I do this on some weekdays when I have a later start, it's much nicer when I'm not in a rush to go to work or do anything else that morning. Currently I'm reading a collection of plays by Neil Simon, an English playwright who wrote plays inspired by his life in New York City in the 60s. His plays are about personal struggles and triumphs, family bonds and dysfunction, and his plays include really relatable characters and storylines. So I'm really enjoying these plays. Around mid-morning, I like to get into my language study. It's nice not having to end my session because I need to go to work or do something else in a hurry. I can spend more time learning new words and grammatical concepts. I'm really making a conscious effort lately to spend more time with my target languages. I try to do bits and pieces during the week, but it is hard to juggle language study with full-time work because language study is an activity which takes mental focus, so it is harder to do when you're tired. That's why I like to take advantage of any free time I have on weekends for those bigger blocks of study. The other thing I like to do on a quiet weekend is go to the rock climbing gym. Because I'm not pressed for time, I can have a longer session, I can do a workout and go for a climb. I really enjoy these sessions because I can take longer rests between exercises or climbs. I'm not in a hurry and I'm just more relaxed. I also get a chance to catch up with any friends I see at the gym. Well friends, thanks for listening to Everyday English and this episode about weekend adventures. Let's keep the conversation going and let me know in the comments below about your weekend plans. Do you like busy or quiet weekends? What do you do on a busy weekend? What do you like to do on a quiet weekend? I look forward to reading your responses. Have a great weekend and I'll catch you in another episode.